One of the things that I love about working with Linux is that it challenges you, if you're receptive to it. Linux constantly puts ideas in your head, ideas you might not have even have considered before. And once one of those ideas takes hold, it kind of sticks with you. This is exactly what happened to me recently. Before all of this happened, I was using Linux Mint quite happily. Linux Mint was instrumental in me preparing for my YouTube channel, and everything was working fine. And then I saw something shiny. A few months ago, I came across a Linux distro called Omarchy. It had been getting some attention in the Linux community. So I went to the website and there was a video by its creator. He walked us through some of the keyboard shortcuts with Omarchy, but I couldn't get over the window tiling manager and just how cool it looked. The whole distro looked cool. I'm not one who spends a lot of time customizing my Linux distro. I customize it just enough to make it look nice, and then it's back to work. But Omarchy looked completely nice and new and modern. But the thing that challenged me was to see how Omarchy could be operated simply with just a few keyboard shortcuts. Now that idea intrigued me. It's not something new. I knew that keyboard-centric systems are desired by a lot of people, but it was new to me. I started thinking if there was a reasonable set of keyboard shortcuts where I could launch and exit applications without touching the mouse, my productivity would probably go through the roof. But at the time, there wasn't much I could do about it. I had something else I needed to focus on. I needed to focus on launching my YouTube channel. Now, Omarchy was cool, and I really did like it. But somewhere down the line, I must have broke something in Arch because things stopped working properly, and I had no idea how to fix it other than reinstalling everything from scratch, and I just couldn't afford to be fixing a distro right then. Maybe I'll switch to Arch someday, but it's not going to be today. So even though that keyboard-driven idea was still bouncing around in my head along with Omarchy's Windows tiling manager, which I really enjoyed, practicality won out. I installed Linux Mint again. It's rock solid and it gets out of the way. It helped me get my YouTube channel off the ground. And then something funny happened. You know how when you're in the market for a new car, and you never see this car that you're looking for around in the wild in your neighborhood. But then while you're researching it, you start to see more and more of it show up in the neighborhood? That's what happened to me with Omarchy. All over YouTube, all over my socials, everywhere I looked, there were videos and articles singing its praises. And I watched every single one. The more I watched, the more I liked the idea of this window tiling manager. The more I liked running the idea of running my computer almost entirely from the keyboard. But then I remembered Pop! OS. Pop! OS had recently been updated, and it had been a while since I had last tried it. My first experience with Pop! OS honestly wasn't so great. The Pop Shop was slow, apps took forever to launch, and the whole system just felt laggy when compared to other distros. But one of the great things about Linux is that over time it just keeps getting better. I remember that Pop! OS had a built-in window tiling manager that you could actually toggle on and off whenever you wanted to. I also remember that it had a strong keyboard shortcut support. So I thought maybe Pop! OS could scratch that itch. So I went ahead and I installed it on my machine. The system was responsive and snappy. Apps sprang to life and fell neatly into place within the tiling grid, and everything just flowed. The Pop Store, previously the Pop Shop, works so much better now. Updates have their own little section and they don't get in the way of the rest of the store. Categories on the left make it easy to browse. You can explore new apps. You got an editor's choice section, a popular app section, a made for Cosmic section, and a recently updated section. I mean, they talk about calling it a pop store. It actually is a store. Now, I don't know what the Pop! OS developers actually call this feature, but I'm so glad they added it because it's really cool. I'm going to call it an information panel. Within the Cosmic apps, when you access something like the settings, they open this information panel that appears on the right side of the app that you're using. I found this in the Cosmic text editor and the Cosmic terminal. It's got to be in other places, but I just haven't found them yet. But I love this feature. It helped me out so much already. Like, it's helped me remove a little bit of opacity in the terminal so I can see through it a bit. Now it looks so cool. Now, the Cosmic text editor really impressed me. I love this text editor. If I could somehow have a markdown preview in it, I'd ditch VS Code in a heartbeat. Seriously. It's got syntax highlighting, well, it does for Markdown, which I use constantly for my text documents. I've not tried HTML and CSS. I'll use it for our website when I start building it. The information panel allowed me to change fonts so quickly. There's a menu item called Git Management. It doesn't do anything except tell me what it does. Could this be some future feature that I discovered? Who knows, but I can't wait to see it work. But this was a journey. I'm so glad I'm able to find a final destination. For now, there I was all innocent, and then I got lured into being more productive and getting more work done. It's made me think about whether I was being the most productive and if there was an alternative. In all this time, it was Linux that had the answers. I know a lot of new to Linux folks grouse about having so many distros to choose from, but in this case, the diversity worked very well for me. I think I'm going to stick with Pop! OS for a while and learn more about it. I'm really glad that I actually gave Pop! OS another chance, because it lets me explore this idea of working more from the keyboard and using a window tiling manager. And I also have a desktop that looks great without a ton of effort. And that's kind of the thing about Linux. You don't need to learn everything at once. You can pick up ideas as you go, try them when you're ready, and get comfortable over time. For now, Pop! OS feels like the right place for me to keep learning and advancing.